The lobby of the Aldrin Continental was the kind of place that rewarded confidence. Marble underfoot, brass fittings at every pillar, a ceiling so high it swallowed sound before it could embarrass anyone. On a Tuesday in late October, with an industry conference filling every breakout room on the second floor and a line of suited executives rolling luggage through the revolving door, the lobby had arranged itself into a quiet, well-oiled performance, and everyone in it knew their part. Denise Okafor walked in from the side entrance at 20 past 10, a carry-on at her shoulder and a slim leather folio tucked under her arm. She was not in a hurry. She had learned long ago that hurry announced itself, and she had no interest in announcements. She crossed toward the front desk at an even pace, her coat buttoned to the collar against the October chill she had just left outside, and she asked the clerk for her room key. That was when Gerald Marsh stepped forward. Marsh was the hotel's head of in-property security, a title he wore with the particular seriousness of a man who had held it for 11 years, and expected the lobby to confirm it back to him on sight. He was not a cruel man. The front desk clerk, a 23-year-old named Petra, would tell her supervisor later. He was simply a man who had learned to sort people quickly, and who had never once examined the cost of that habit. He placed himself between Denise Okafor and the front desk with what he clearly believed was courtesy. "Ma'am." His voice was low and level, the tone of a man who thought he was doing someone a favor. "We have a private event in the building this morning. Access through this lobby is for registered guests and conference attendees only." Denise Okafor looked at him, not with surprise, not with anger, with the patient attention of someone who had heard many variations of this sentence in many lobbies and had long since stopped being startled by it. "I'm a registered guest," she said. "Room 414. I'm checking in." Marsh did not step aside. He glanced at the folio under her arm, at her coat, her carry-on, the way she had come in through the side entrance rather than the main door, and he made, in that glance, a calculation that had nothing to do with her words. "I'll need to ask you to wait in the side corridor while we verify that," he said. "The lobby's reserved this morning." The lobby was not, in any formal sense, reserved. Petra knew it. The two concierge staff at the far pillar knew it. Half a dozen conference attendees who had slowed near the check-in queue to adjust his or check phones had heard every word, and they knew it too. Denise Okafor did not raise her voice. She did not move toward the side corridor. "The front desk is right there," she said quietly. "I'll wait here." Marsh's jaw tightened. He stepped closer, not touching, never that, but close enough to make the geometry of the moment plain. "Ma'am, I'm going to ask you one more time to step aside so I can verify your reservation. Through our system. It'll only take a moment." "You can verify it by asking the clerk," she said. "My name is Okafor. Room 414. She has the booking." Petra had already pulled it. She had the booking on her screen before Marsh had finished his second sentence, and she had been waiting, with the particular discomfort of someone caught between procedure and conscience, for the moment to say so. She said it now. "Mr. Marsh, I have the reservation. Miss Okafor, booked through corporate. She's confirmed." Marsh did not look at the screen. He looked for a moment at Denise Okafor, and in that moment something shifted in the lobby, some small tectonic adjustment that everyone present felt but could not have named. He was not going to be corrected by a clerk. That, at least, was plain on his face. "Corporate booking," he said, in a tone that made the phrase sound like a question about something else entirely. Which company? It was not a reasonable question. It was not a check of the record. Petra had the booking. The booking was confirmed. The question was something other than procedure, and the room knew it. Denise Okafor set her folio on the front desk, not hard, not with drama, just down, with the ease of someone who had decided the moment had arrived. She opened it to the third page and removed a single card, which she placed on the marble beside the folio. It was a federal identification card. Below her photograph, below her name in clean block letters, was her title, Director of Field Compliance, Office of Civil Rights Enforcement, Region 4. She had carried the card for 9 years. She had produced it in 3 formal investigations, twice in federal hearings, and once in a deposition that had run 4 days. She had never once produced it in a hotel lobby, because a hotel lobby had never before required it. She produced it now without heat, without ceremony, the way a person produces any document that simply tells the truth. Petra looked at the card. The 2 concierge staff, who had drifted closer during the exchange, looked at the card. 3 of the conference attendees, who had been watching from the check-in queue, executives from the industry association, whose members occupied every breakout room upstairs, looked at the card. Gerald Marsh looked at the card. He did not say anything for a full 4 seconds. Later, the concierge nearest the pillar would say those 4 seconds were the loudest thing he had ever heard in a marble lobby. Your key, Ms. Okafor, Petra said, and slid the envelope across the desk. Her voice was steady. She was 23 years old, and she was the steadiest person in the lobby. Denise Okafor picked up her card, put it back in the folio, picked up the key envelope, and walked to the elevator without looking back. She was unpacked and reviewing briefing notes when the call came from the hotel's general manager at 11:30. His name was Harlan DeCourt. His voice had the particular quality of a man who had spent 20 minutes choosing his words and was still not fully satisfied with them. Mrs. Okafor, he said, I've been made aware of what happened in the lobby this morning, and I want to tell you directly. It was not acceptable. It did not reflect this hotel, and we are addressing it through our formal HR process, effective now. She listened. She did not offer comfort. She did not say it was fine. She had learned over 9 years in federal compliance work that accepting an apology too quickly allowed the person offering it to feel the matter was behind them before the matter was behind them. Gerald Marsh has been placed on administrative review, pending a full investigation, DeCourt continued. Our compliance officer has opened a case file. We will be documenting the incident in full. Witness accounts, the front desk record, the lobby security feed, all of it. He paused. I'd like to deliver a written statement to your room this afternoon on hotel letterhead for your records. I also want to say, and I want this on record if you're noting it, the front desk clerk acted with complete professionalism. The problem was not with her. I know, Denise Okafor said. I noticed. The written statement will confirm the administrative action taken and the hotel's formal apology without reservation, DeCourt said. Is there anything else I can address for you today? The statement will be sufficient, she said. I appreciate the call, Mr. DeCourt. She hung up and went back to her briefing notes. She had a 2 o'clock meeting with the regional field team, a follow-up call with the office at 4, and a dinner with the field staff at 7. The day was full. It had always been full, and nothing about the lobby that morning had changed its shape. Only its opening, which had now been fully accounted for. The 40 minutes Marsh had cost her were recorded in a case file in the hotel's own compliance office. That was where they belonged, and that was where they would stay. The written statement arrived at 3:50 in the afternoon, hand-delivered by a member of the hotel's management staff. It was 3 paragraphs on hotel letterhead, signed by Harlan DeCourt. It acknowledged the incident, confirmed the administrative action taken, and offered the hotel's formal apology without equivocation. Petra was the one who brought it up. She had asked, at the end of her shift, to be the one to deliver it. She could not fully explain why, except that she had stood at that front desk, and she had watched the whole thing, and she had felt, in the moment when she said, I have the reservation, and it had not been enough, that a debt had been opened that she personally needed to close, even in this small way. Denise Okafor answered the door in the same even manner she had crossed the lobby. She read the letter in the doorway. She folded it and placed it in the folio. Thank you, she said to Petra. I'm sorry we didn't stop it sooner, Petra said. Denise Okafor looked at her for a moment. At this 23-year-old clerk who had pulled the booking the instant it was needed and had said the right thing out loud in a marble lobby full of people who might have preferred she stay quiet. You said what needed saying, Denise told her. That's what mattered. Petra rode the elevator back down to the lobby. The afternoon conference was winding up. Executives were filtering out through the revolving door and back into the October gray. The lobby had returned to its ordinary business. The steady, impersonal hum of a large hotel on a Tuesday afternoon, and Gerald Marsh was not in it. She thought about the 4 seconds of silence after the card went down on the marble. She thought about a woman who had crossed a lobby at an even pace and stood at a front desk and said quietly, I'll wait here, and had. She thought she understood something now that she had not understood at 10:20 that morning. She was not sure she could have said it in a single sentence. But she thought she would recognize it from now on when she saw it, the particular kind of steadiness that does not ask for a room, but simply knows it belongs in one. The revolving door turned. The lobby filled and emptied. Outside, the October light was going thin and cold, and the day was nearly done.